Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This week on the show, we're teaming up with some feathered friends with some serious natural hunting skills. It's falconry season, and when you head out on this hunt, the people are the dogs. Then alien visitors, well, kind of. We'll look closely at one of Delmarva's most intimidating invasive species. And as some folks have already decided, if you can't beat them, eat them. Plus, we're tagging along with a local fur trapper as we tend to the line and look back on a winter's bounty.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
Go green.
Oh, yeah!
Woo! Yeah.
Fish in the cooler.
There we go.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. And now, here are Mike Parker and Captain Willie Dykes.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes.
And I'm Mike Parker. Willie, another round of adventures this week, and we're starting off here in beautiful Queen Anne's County, Maryland, not too far outside of the town of Centerville. Standing right now on a property that the locals know as Chestnut Manor Farm, obviously a place known for its waterfowl hunting guide service.
That's right, Mike, but this week we're not going to be hunting for the birds, we're going to be hunting with the birds.
That's definitely one way to put it, Willie. For those of us who hunt in the state of Maryland each year, we get our license, we get our hunting and trapping guide. We look inside, we see that niche season for the sport of falconry.
And now we're going to show it to you.
To begin to share our falconry experience, let's meet the species of birds we'll be hunting with. On the left of your screen, a familiar East Coast bird of prey and Delmarva regular, the red-tailed hawk. On the right, the Harris hawk, a species popular with falconers around the country, but indigenous in places like Texas and out west in Arizona and New Mexico. And to start our introductions is David Parks, a Maryland falconer who handles this immature female redtail named Hope.
And hence a red-tailed hawk. The first thing you'll notice about her, I'll get her to fan her tail out here. See her feather, her tail feathers aren't red. They're actually brown with stripes on them. And that indicates to us that she's a first-year bird. And we're only allowed to trap first-year birds.
Months of training have created a trust between handler and bird. But don't be confused. This relationship is not pet-like, and she won't show affection like, say, a dog. But Hope has come to rely on David as a source of food, so important to her survival that she sticks around. Now, Hope is an impressive specimen on her own, not to mention the specialized gear she wears while hunting. But don't think of these leather anklets and shiny grommets as bling, so much as protection, because even the toughest of talons can be at risk when taking down a squirrel.
I hadn't thought about that. Squirrels will bite back. If when they're so it takes a big bird like that, if she gets a good grip on them, then she has to worry about them biting back a little bit, I guess.
That's correct.
And it's true. As David explains, the diamond-shaped grommets are actually designed to get the squirrel's attention. So instead of biting at the feet, they bite at the metal.
And that's a real eye attracting to the squirrels. I've come up before and they've been gnawing right on that grommet.
Now, to get to know the Harris hawk, I'll offer this advice as a cameraman. There's a reason falconers love them. They're quick. Wow. My close encounter is all I need to appreciate the energy these birds have saved up for hunting, but also their gentle nature when properly trained and handled, like this mature male named Sting, who belongs to Mike here.
And I couldn't ask for a better bird. They're cooperative hunters, I mean that they work together. They're like, they hunt together in groups very, very well. So as a falconer, I like them because then we can fly several birds and get a lot of time out in the field together.
Now, as this cooperative hunt will go, Sting here will be partnered with a female Harris hawk named TC, handled by Mike's son, Patrick.
Okay. I think they're going to launch both Harris hawks at one time. It's going to be good to watch them working together.
Come on out, Sting. There he goes. And come on, let's go. Come on.
When it's time to hunt, the Morelands and their Harris Hawks go first, targeting rabbits. Captain Willie and I will be following. David will help to stir up the brush, and Tracy will be taking some still pictures of the action too, which we'll be showing you along the way. As the hawks perch themselves on the branches above, the human handlers make as much of a racket as they can on the ground. And if a rabbit runs out, the hawk's amazing vision focuses in, and they go in for the kill. It's a perfect storm of predator versus prey. The result is a rabbit in TC's clutches, and Patrick is thrilled with his hawk's performance.
No, she's hard about letting go of her kills. That's her only problem. Transferring, it's called. She's very hard-headed. Right here.
With a successful afternoon under their talons and a little congratulations from first-time falconer Captain Willie.
Good job there, fella.
These Harris Hawks have done their job, and they've done it well. But the day is only so long, and we've got another bird of prey ready to hunt. And as we arrive at a patch of woods just about a half-mile down the road, David is readying Hope, the red-tailed hawk, for her pursuit of squirrels.
I'll tell you what, no squirrel is safe.
Now this type of hunting is even more intense. Call it just a walk in the woods if you want. But when David spots the first squirrel high above in a tree, we'll be working up a sweat as we use large sticks to beat on the trees, hoping that Hope will hone in on her prey. For an extra eye on this intense action, Patrick will be wearing our head cam. Watch this. As Hope finally sees the squirrel, her pursuit lasts just a second as she grabs the prey in her talons and, like a bullet, shoots to the ground.
When she's down on game, their natural instinct is to go down on game and then disappear as best they can. They'll do what's called manling and cover their game, and with the brown feathers in the back, you'd be surprised. Even though they have white in it, you would be surprised how well they blend in.
Sometimes like that. Sometimes it's an hour walk through the woods.
Just minutes into the hunt, we've already got a squirrel. And for David, removing the squirrel from Hope's talons is no easy task, but it's necessary, as her reward for the kill will be the chicken fed to her from David's glove. Soon, the hunt is back on, and in no time, we've got Hope on the trail of another squirrel. This time, even higher up in the trees.
Yeah, where's he at?
But as Hope swoops towards a lower hanging branch, there's no escaping for this second squirrel. And this time, David makes sure his prized redtail has something special for her efforts. As this end of the season hunt will end with a squirrel dinner for Hope, and this trio of falconers still feasting on adrenaline.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we're taking a closer look at one of Delmarva's most intimidating invasive species. But first, did you know? The red-tailed hawk generally flies at speeds of between 20 and 40 miles per hour, but it can accelerate to approximately which top speed while attacking prey? Is it 90 miles per hour, 120 miles per hour, or 150 miles per hour? The answer when we come back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism.
Get out of there.
Shorts Marine.
Come on down now. Come on.
Shooter's Choice. And Goody's Marine. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
It's not just the hawk out here having fun. That's a good way to take out some end of the work week aggression.
Did you know? When attacking prey, the red-tailed hawk can reach a top speed of approximately 120 miles per hour.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. You know, it was in retention ponds like this one here behind me where some of the first snakehead fish were discovered on Delmarva about a decade ago. Well, you know, once a species like this gets a toehold, they're tough to stop. But it looks like the situation might have some advantages. Aliens have been invading Delmarva for decades. Not the little green kind with suction cups for hands, but species that have been introduced here from other lands.
When they become invasive, that means they're able to reproduce and grow within that area. A lot of people bring a species from one place to another, but it never reproduces and it never grows, so it just dies out. However, when that species can reproduce and grow, then it's considered an invasive species.
Species such as the starling, originally from Europe, and the now prevalent plant species Phragmites seem downright commonplace these days. The nutria was purposefully introduced to Delmarva in the mid-20th century to help bolster our waning fur industry. But perhaps none has captured the imagination as this recent come here, which many consider a monster. The snakehead fish. And recently, snakeheads have found their way into the Nanticoke River system. An adult northern snakehead was found in Broad Creek in April 2011, and 2 more were caught in March of 2012 near Seaford.
They've actually found some in the brackish water of the bay now. So that's the big fear, that it gets into the bay. And you can see by the teeth, they are very invasive, and they can obviously, they are at the top of the food chain. You know, if you catch one, your bass fish, and you catch one, kill it.
And what you do with the dead fish is your business.
Frankly, I've done a lot of traveling throughout Asia, and I've had the pleasure of eating snakehead fish in Thailand, and it was really quite good. It's a beautiful white meat.
Delicious, absolutely delicious. Really mild fish. It's very forgiving in terms of cooking. It grills up really nice, it sautés, it fries. I mean, pretty much anything you do to it, it works out really well.
If you can't beat it, eat it.
You'd expect that going out to battle an alien species that's invading our rivers and streams would involve nets and spears and chemicals and a pair of hip boots. Actually, we're planning to use fire as our main weapon, and the chemicals are user-friendly for the most part.
Olive oil, lemon juice, salt.
And we won't need the boots because this campaign is being fought in a restaurant kitchen in Annapolis, Maryland.
If you let them alone, they're obviously going to reproduce and they're going to take over the ecosystem. So we think the only way to really cure that is to commercially harvest them.
Celebrity chefs from the Baltimore-Washington region are participating in this dinner to raise awareness of invasive species, as well as to help raise money for the Oyster Recovery Partnership.
Not the most prettiest fish I've ever seen. I can't wait to try it though.
Yeah, they get nasty teeth.
They're delicious though.
They are.
I'm glad it doesn't swim in my pool, because that's problematic.
It's been poached really lightly for 15 minutes at 140 degrees. It's got a little bit of citrus on the outside, so it cured it a little bit, and the flavor's awesome. It's got a good natural flavor. It's great.
For the chefs, the problem is a familiar one. Take a piece of firm, flavorful fish and make a tasty and attractive meal.
That was fantastic.
It's a great eating fish. That's the savior to this whole thing. If it was muddy or terrible tasting, it wouldn't take off.
So Mike and Captain Willie, we're going to try snakehead fish here, and I'm not in bad company to try it. Here you go. Here's your invasive species.
Take it. Take it to the head. Take it to the snakehead. It's really good.
That's really fantastic. So, you know what? It can invade my stomach anytime. I'm digging it.
All that talent and experience result in a wide variety of culinary masterpieces. And for the lucky diners, it's just a great night out with good friends and good food. It looks like everybody wins except the snakeheads. And that was the big idea to start with.
If you can't beat it, eat it.
Still to come on Outdoors Delmarva, I'm Mike Parker here along the Nanticoke River doing a little white perch fishing while we still can, as these fish are spawning up and down these Delmarva waters. But when we come back, I'm going to take you on a late winter adventure as we spend the morning with a fur trapper out in the field. We'll be right back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. higher standards. And now, here's Mike Parker.
And I'm here on a beautiful spot along the Nanticoke River tonight in Wicomico County, just north of the Nanticoke Harbor. Having a great time, a little light tackle fishing experience. My friend Pat Tobat invited me out this evening for some white perch fishing right out here off the docks. A couple of bloodworms, a couple of medium-sized hooks, and boy, just wait on these lines and you should be hooked up. The fish are spawning right now, so get out here in this limited window and have some fun. But before our lines get too hot, we did want to take you back and share one of our recent winter adventures when I spent the morning with an experienced fur trapper, and I'll tell you what, he had one heck of a season. When you spend a morning with Gene Garrett around the Powellville area, you quickly take a step back and say, wow, this guy does this a lot.
I've gotten 387 fox this year, and as of today, I've gotten 104 raccoons.
Because while a relatively warm winter season may have been tough on a lot of trappers,
this is the gray, this is the red.
Well, the walls of Gene's garage tell a different story, and proof that Delmarva's fur-bearing populations are still in pretty good shape.
There's loads of them. You wouldn't believe how many that's out there, you know. I mean, I've been full-time now for about 3 years, and it just seems like it gets more, you know, and better. They're actually getting healthier with me taking out some of the sick.
By the time we headed out on the trap line with Gene around Wicomico and Worcester counties, the fox season had pretty much slowed to a crawl, so we were really only after raccoons. And while slightly less glamorous than the fox, the raccoon pelt is still valuable, and the species itself, a fierce predator and major nuisance to the local landowners who allow Gene to trap on their properties. As we showed you in a story last year, there are even local scientific studies being done to determine just how many turkey nests full of eggs are raided by foxes and raccoons each year.
Well, we're coming up on the first traps here. Doesn't look like we've had much success. Normally use something white when I'm in a secluded area because it's an attractant, you know, it's for eye appeal, you know. But we don't have anything today here, our first stop this morning. Yeah, we have one down here. Oh. Well, we got one. I said something to my grandson one day we were out here. I said, want a marshmallow? He says, no, that's coon bait. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you gonna be a movie star, are you?
We'll put you on right now. Look at here.
No way.
We've got
be wanted.
America's most wanted. We got traps on his operation too, and we've done okay there. We've got some coons down there.
Yeah. Glad to get rid of them.
Yep. Yep. They're nuisance, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Oh yeah, we got a raccoon here. We have a nice fur to sell, and somebody have a nice meal. I guess you could call it organic. They're not raised in pens.
Is that what you'd call it? Yeah, going green, right?
Going green. Yeah,
going green.
Going green.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to go green, they should buy yourself a nice fur jacket.
Gene's trapping methods don't veer much from the traditional, and usually something sweet or stinky makes pretty good bait. And while we found just 2 raccoons unwise enough to take it on this particular late winter morning, you don't fill the walls like this after just one morning out on the trap line.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, Captain Willie takes us for a tour of the Nature Center at Killens Pond.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. You know, you don't always have to travel under a canopy of trees to discover nature's bounty. Sometimes a wealth of Delmarva's treasures can literally be found under one roof. Killens Pond State Park is near Felton in Kent County. It's centered on the 66-acre Killens Pond and offers just about everything you can think of in outdoor recreation. One attraction you won't want to miss is the Nature Center right at the water's edge.
We have some toads and some tree frogs.
The first floor contains a display of native amphibians and reptiles. It's kind of a preview of the local residents you might see as you explore the woods and wetlands of the park.
Makes you kind of wonder how he got there, doesn't it?
Touching the creatures in this display launches a short video to get you better acquainted. This one shows a hog-nosed snake trying to fool a predator by playing dead, complete with gaping mouth and tongue hanging out.
Yeah, this snake is quite an actor. That's one of the really common snakes around Delmarva here, too.
There's space that your organization can rent for meetings or conferences in a setting that's bound to bring out the creativity in any group.
Just the view from the patio of the Nature Center is enough to bring you to come and see it.
Center manager Rachel Fillo was kind enough to show us around.
We have 2 decks that are attached to our Nature Center and an amphitheater. Gorgeous views right of the whole entire pond. People are more than welcome to pack and bring a lunch or a picnic dinner.
Lab and classroom facilities are on the ground floor.
Schools bring their classes out to us. We also use this for our day camp room, so we offer summer day camps all summer long.
Rain or shine, all year round, you can get close to the outdoors here at the Killens Pond Nature Center.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we've got some viewer venture cam video from a viewer who took her geocaching hobby to an island paradise. Plus, your viewer pictures.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by Shorts Marine.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hop.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Shorts Marine. Shooter's Choice, and Goody's Marine.
All right, Willie, time now again for one of our favorite parts of the show.
Right, Mike, let's take a look at some of the pictures and videos sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers.
Hey, Captain Willie and Mike Parker. This is Stephanie Fowler from Salisbury, Maryland, and I'm down in Williamstown, Curacao.
And we'll begin with some viewer venture cam video. Stephanie is a Delmarva geocaching enthusiast who doesn't mind taking her hobby to international destinations, where like everywhere else, well, you never know what the next cache will hold.
The hint says it's in a tree stump near a rock pile. Oh, check that out. What in the world? I don't really kind of know what I'm looking at, but we'll just put that right back. Oh, I got it.
As Stephanie proves, if you stick with it, you just might also find a prize in the most unexpected places.
So this would
Hey,
be
have a safe trip back to Delmarva, and thanks for sharing that viewer venture cam video.
Here's the little log inside.
On to the pictures this week. We received some shots from our friends at the Delmarva Discovery Center in Pocomoke City. The center held its Easter egg adventure last week, complete with visits from snakes and, of course, the Easter Bunny. And a message to come check out the center for yourself.
We have a great family membership. It's $40 and it gets you and your family in for the entire year. We have summer camp for children, and it's focused on marine biology, so it would be a great way to kind of learn about the center and native life and history as well.
All right, Willie, well, here we are. Spring has definitely arrived, and boy, there's just no better time of year, is there?
That's right, Mike, and there are 2 things we're waiting to see, and that's the opening of the youth turkey hunt and that trophy rock season.
Yeah, we can't wait to get out there in the field, get on a boat, and pull in some of those big boys. Until then, for Captain Willie Dykes, I'm Mike Parker reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva. You gonna catch one this year, Willie?
2.
2.
At one time.